Hi friends, welcome to your yoga practice today, and I'm so grateful you're here with me. Grab your mat and let's get started. So let's go start today's practice on the back. We're going to start today's practice on the back with constructive rest pose. So feet mat width distance apart, knees knock in to touch. You can slide your arms out either into a T or into a cactus arm, depending on how your chest and shoulders feel. If they're very, very tight, it may be more restful to have the arms to a T or a little down by the sides. Just open them enough to feel really broad and open across the collarbones. And start to slowly windshield wiper your knees to the right. Let the knees stay over to the right for a moment, with the left inner knee drawing away from your left shoulder. And breathing, with the exhale emptying out your belly. And slowly windshield wiper over to the left, letting your right inner knee drop down. Then gently moving that inner right knee away from the right shoulder. Relaxing more through the area between the shoulder blades. Inhaling and exhaling, coming back to center. Let your knees knock in again. Scan your body, see how you feel today. And as you rest your whole spine from the back of the head to the tailbone, set your intention for practice. What do you want to cultivate here in this time on your mat today? Let that help guide and inspire your effort. And let's heel toe the feet hip width distance apart and press through your left foot and draw your right knee in toward your body, taking your hands in front of the right shin or in the knee crease, and lightly pull that right thigh in toward the side rib. This is a fine place to stay, or go ahead and slide that left leg out straight, flexing your feet. Utkatasana, great stretch for your lower back and for digestion. Give that right thigh a little pull, and then extend your right heel straight up toward the ceiling, hands behind the thigh bone, calf, or ankle. Gazing up at your right foot, point and flex that right foot a couple of times. And then when you flex that foot, open your elbows and bring your face toward your leg toward your face, and hover your left heel off the ground and press that left heel right away from the hip joint as you exhale. And let your head fall back. Gently release your right foot onto the floor. Pressing through your right foot, squeeze your left knee in and traction that left thigh in toward the side rib, opening your elbows away from each other. Then slide that right heel out long on the ground. Utkatasana on this side. Breathing into any tension. And notice if your jaw is clenching up at all. Relax and soften your jaw. Good. And then extend your right heel straight up toward the ceiling. Hands behind the thigh bone, calf, or ankle. Gazing up at your left foot, point and flex a couple of times, waking up your ankle. Letting that broad space in your lower back, that triangular sacral plane, rest and soften away from your chin. And then open your elbows, bring your face toward your leg toward your face, lift your right heel, press the center of the right heel away. Exhaling all the way out, and then let the head gently fall back. Release your left foot down. And then pressing through your left foot, hug your right knee in for a squeeze. And then hug your left knee in for a squeeze. Right foot can come onto the floor. And then hug both knees in, one hand on each knee. Take a few slow circles, figure eights. So the knees come in and they swirl open, and you're kind of spinning the heads of the thigh bones around, massaging them around in the hip sockets. And that has the effect of massaging your back. And that massage chains right up the spine, right through the crown of the head. Then hugging the knees in, cross one ankle on top of the other, and then rock on the spine and come on up to sit. Take your hands in front of your shins. On your inhale, lift your chest, look up. On your exhale, we're going to roll over the knees. Make your way into a tabletop position. Fan your fingers wide and start to rock forward and back. So we're going to rock forward through the chest, rock the hips back, and slide the hands forward a little more. And then rock the chest forward and rock the hips back. One of my teachers calls this baby glee. This is the developmental movement where babies learn to crawl. through doing this movement. So we're just waking up the spine, the hips. Then tuck the toes, send the hips toward the heels, and stretch from the pinkies to the hips. Lift your knees and come on up into your downward dog. Drop your heels down. You can always peek and see that your first fingers are parallel with each other. You stretch the hips high. Open your knees so they don't collapse in. Then go ahead and lift that right heel, whatever amount, toward the ceiling. We'll inhale. We'll exhale, tented fingers to give you a little more room, and slide your right foot through right between the hands. And then drop your left knee down. Take the top of your left foot flat. Come on up. Hold here, finding your stability and your balance. Top of the left foot is pressing. And sweep the arms forward and up into crescent lunge. Anjaneyasana. Any amount of back bend as you reach up through the fingers. Look up on the inhale. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. Take your left hand a little wider than the shoulder. Take your right hand on the back. Look to the right. Squeeze that right knee in toward the midline. And draw that right shoulder blade down a little more onto the back. And we'll inhale. And we'll exhale, release your right fingertips on the outside of the heel. We're going to heel toe the right foot behind the left wrist. Drop the right knee open, a little wider than the hip, coming into a pigeon pose moment with a flexed right foot. Squeeze those shoulder blades down. Hold there. Gaze over your left shoulder and see there's a nice line from that left pinky toe side of the foot right into the outer knee, right into your hip. Roll that left hip down, walk your hands over to the right, and look over your right shoulder. Roll that left hip point in toward your belly. Inhale there. Exhale back. Plant your palms. Look at your hands and find your downward dog hands. So you really spread your fingers wide. Root through that L shape in your fingers. That first finger and thumb pressing. Tuck the back toes underneath and inch your left knee forward a little bit. Now lift your left knee. Lift your core, press through your hands, hover that right leg, and slowly step your right foot back and find downward dog. Breathing there, finding a nice length and lift right up through the sitting bones. Smooth, steady breath. Calm steadiness and ease in your effort. Stretch your left heel high for three-legged dog. Left heel swings straight up toward the sky. Inhale. Exhale, tented fingers. Hoist your left foot through right between the hands. Take your right knee down. Take the top of that right foot flat. Start to come on up. Find your stability. Draw your lower ribs in. Then rooting through the top of that right foot, sweep your arms up. Crescent lunge. Anjaneyasana, we lift the side ribs. We lift the center of the chest up. Gaze up on the inhale. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. Take your right hand a little wider than the shoulder. Take your left hand right around onto your back. And look to the left. Good. Feel that left shoulder away from the ear. And keep pressing through the ball of your left foot. One more inhale. Doing great. Exhale, release that left hand down. Now we're going to come into pigeon by heel toeing that left foot behind your right wrist. So you can bring your left heel a little closer toward the front of your right hip. And then you slide your right foot back and press lightly through the top of that right foot. And you can look over your right shoulder and adjust so that you can see there's a nice straight line from the pinky toe side of that right foot to the knee to the outer right hip. And then walk your hands over to the left a little bit. Look over your left shoulder. Wrap that right hip point down and around towards your belly. And inhale. And exhale, come on back. Plant your palms. Look and see your downward dog palms. Tuck your right toes under and inch that right knee forward a little bit. Lift your right thigh, pressing strongly through the palms. Lift your hip points, lift your belly, and slide that left foot back. Downward dog. Inhale. Exhale, let it out. Make your way into a plank. Touch your knees down. Tuck your toes. Sit on your heels. Sitting on your heels, reach down and peel the baby toe out. So we're really stretching the soles of the feet and resting your hands on tops of the thighs for this variation of thunderbolt pose. So we're really going to feel all the places of the feet stretching and all of those pressure points that correlate with systems of the body. So we're stretching the feet and hopefully balancing the energy in the organ systems. Lightly interlace either finger on top and flip the palms straight up toward the sky, lifting the heels of the hands away from your hips. Of course, if you're ready to scream, if this is really excruciating, you can always just take your feet flat or stand on your knees. One more moment here, looking up on the inhale. Exhale, gently let your arms drape down. Come into a tabletop. Untuck and go ahead and give your feet a nice gentle tap into the floor. Great work. Then lightly swing the ankles underneath. Bring the legs around. We're going to find our Dandasana and take your fingers behind you. Pinky fingers touch. Flex your feet. Lift your knees a little bit. Lift from your lower back right up between the shoulder blades. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and gaze upward. Inhale. Exhale. Start to lower back. You may have to scooch forward because we're going to come all the way down. And we're arriving on the back, wagging the toes in and out. Go ahead and step 1 foot at a time on the floor so the feet are hip width distance apart. Lift up your hips and lay your lower back long all the way to the tailbone. Then drag one shoulder at a time underneath the back. Press through the feet, lift up the hips, coming up into any amount of bridge pose, keeping the palms facing up alongside the body. Breathe the chest toward the chin. Good, rooting through the backs of the hands, rooting through the feet. Knees hug in on the inhale, lift the hips a little more. Exhale, roll down slowly. Upper back, middle back, lower back resting. When your lower back rests, gently hug both knees in toward the chest, give a little squeeze. And then rest your feet on the floor. You can take constructive rest with the knees knocking in, or you can slide your legs out straight for a brief final Shavasana meditation. Very important. Take some time to let the energy be moved around, metabolize and process, and let the self come into harmony between mind, body, and spirit. And let the whole body soften and release. All the joints are free. All the joints are light and spacious. The center of the chest receptive and open. Mind, the brain itself, very soft and relaxed. Invite compassion for wherever you're at today. And with every inhale, we start to invite life, vitality, gratitude for anything at all. And every exhale, letting go of stress, tension, anything you want to release. And we're going to wiggle fingers and toes, waking up, some movement, and eventually stretching the arms overhead, take a big reset. Gather the knees one at a time in toward your body and slowly roll to either side before pressing up slowly into a seat. Arriving again in your upright seat, bring your hands to heart center. Thank yourself for showing up today, and I thank you for showing up, and I wish you joy, peace, health, strength, courage, and trust on the journey. Namaste. Have a great day. Keep up your practice. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Share a comment with me. Let me know about yourself, and keep it up. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.